no joke.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Quincy Carr here. Welcome to another show of Quality Comedy Time with Quincy. That's me. I'm your host, Quincy. Look, we got a great show lined up for you today. Last week's show was great. Remember, this is the month of August. I am feeling so powerful in the month of August. I'm celebrating multiple anniversaries from the day I finally left my 9 to 5 to fully pursue my self-employment lifestyle. That was on Sunday. That was 7 years ago on Sunday, August the 9th, that I fully stepped away from my 9 to 5 and said, I'm going to dedicate this full time to this stand-up comedy and just running my business. My business anniversary is actually the 21st of August. So that's coming up where I'll be celebrating, I think, 12 years of being operating as Quincy Carr Inc. And then obviously my birthday is this month. What's up to all the Leos? If you are a Leo in the house, I need y'all to drop a line and let folks know who you are, when your birthday is. You just never know. That can maybe help you win something in the future. All right. I am a little bit perturbed, and I can't even spell that word, but I'm a little perturbed with Facebook. All right. Every time I be promoting this stuff, like Facebook, nobody sees the promos at all. It's like Facebook wants you to pay for advertising and for promos. Like they don't want to just put your stuff and let people see it. But if I put up something, like somebody getting punched, then all of a sudden 2,000 likes, 2,000 views. I ain't never had 2,000 likes. But my point is, like let people eat. Facebook, if you feel that way, let me know. Like, is it just me or is it y'all too? Because this is very frustrating. Oh, real quick before I continue on, congratulations. This is Happy National Black Business Month, okay? For all the entrepreneurs of color that are out there grinding, that are out there doing your thing, that are trying to do good business. Because I know some black businesses, oh my gosh. Like some of y'all are just in business. Y'all are not doing business. You're just in business. And that is the most frustrating thing to see from people, especially us, okay? And then we get mad at each other. Hey, y'all go over here to the Chinese people. You go over here to the white man. Be like, you gotta do business, conduct business, black folk, all right? But it is National Black Business Month. I put this up here again just so y'all can see. Support black businesses out here. Support my black business, okay? I appreciate you supporting that. I got a comedy special that's on TGX Live streaming platform. They took a chance on me, put some advertising dollars to finally put my stuff out there. So y'all can definitely, my special's available. Too young for 40. I am in my 40s. I'm getting ready to turn another year older, and it is scary. Okay, but yes, it's pay-per-view at tgxlive.com. So that's a black-owned streaming platform, and they're putting a lot of good content out with us. So they're representing us, and I appreciate y'all support. It's only $4.99. So now let's get into our guests. But before we bring our guests up, you guys have to see who we have on the show today.
I'm Cipha Sounds. I'm a DJ, a comedian, which proves that a negative and a negative don't always equal a positive. I'm from the Bronx, but I'm so Puerto Rican, I even catcall women in my sleep.
Hey, tonight's guest, very well-known DJ across the globe from NYC's Hot 97, Sirius XM, Shade 45, MTV, and the history-making Chappelle Show. Look, he's made the transition from a professional DJ to a professional comedian, and he hosted the TV show that gave me my very first national TV performance credit, Laff Mobb's Laff Tracks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage my man, Cipha Sounds. What's going on, Cipha?
Oh, am I here? Am I live?
Hey, you've been here, bro.
Oh, man. I'm very not excited to be here. I'm very upset. I don't like anything you do. I don't like you have businesses going. I don't like that you're talented with hair cutting. I don't like your handsome looks and your slim physique.
Hey, this is
nonsense.
Look, you know what? This is not a hate-tastic type of moment here, okay? So let the hate go, Cipha. You got so many things going on. I know during this pandemic, is there anything that has happened to you that you just like, I can't believe or I can believe it? Like at this point?
Yeah, a lot. I did a lot of, inner searching. I found out I'm a terrible father. I can see I got 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
And I was a great dad when I was on the road, and I would come home with like a little gift or a little treat, a little nonsense from the airport and whatever. But little kids love that. And then, Daddy's home, yay! And I'm the fun dad. I play with them. I don't got to make meals. I don't got to change diapers. And I'm the greatest. But now that I'm home all day, they're like, yo, your man right here is not even that good at this. Like,
that is the worst feeling, bro, to know. Because I've always said, like, if you're married or if you just have a family, we went from barely seeing people, like as working people, right, traveling or working, barely seeing our own family member, maybe 3 to 5 hours a day, to 24 hours in a day. It has tested a lot of relationships, bro.
It's not good.
But for you realize that you're just not a good father,
not a good dad, and I have to stay at the in-laws' house because we needed more space. So now I'm like just the loose third child in the in-laws' house. You know what I mean?
Right. So look, your kids are walking past you, and you are like, I'm your father. That's who I am, man.
They don't listen to me because their grandparents give them whatever they want. So I'm trying to, hold it down. Like, hey, you can't eat cookies or chips, right? You have to eat your lunch first, and then you can get a treat. And then they just go to their grandma, like, and she sneaks it to them. So now, am I gonna yell at her in her own house? Hey, don't give my kids. She's like, hey, why don't you get off the couch?
Be like, you know what? I don't have a job right now. Okay, I'll get off the couch when I start working again. But then again, she's your mother-in-law, so it's not your mother. So there may be some gray area. You just got to be ready to take that risk.
I don't know if I should try it because I don't want to live outside.
I forgot. Yeah, you are staying at your in-laws' house, bro. Look, man, your career started in 1996, I believe. Your DJ career, and it started gaining traction as you joined like one of hip hop's legendary DJs, Funk Flex, on Hot 97, right?
That was 97.
Yeah.
97. 96 is when I went on tour with Lil' Kim.
Yeah. That's right. Yo, now talk about that, because like Kim.
You won't let me say bad words. You said I can't say bad words. I can't talk about those days at all.
Come on, man. You can say a little bit of something about Lil'.
You know what's funny? The first show I ever did with Lil' Kim was your hometown.
Really?
First show ever. Yep. Down in VA. The first. I got with Lil' Kim when her album wasn't even out. It was like after Junior Mafia album and right before she released her album. She had like, we would perform. We could do, Get Money, Players Anthem, and like some R&B remixes that she was on. Okay. And that would be the whole show. We had to make a whole show out of like 4 features and 2 songs, Wow. And we did it. And then eventually like her single came out and then the album came out and it just grew.
Wow. Yeah. So you were on Hot 97 with I think it was a show that Funk Flex had, right?
Yeah. It was. I wasn't even on the radio. I was just his intern.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. So, and that was once you came back off tour with Lil' Kim. Now
it was like coinciding. Like I would go to the radio station during the week and then go with Kim on the weekends, or if she had like a weekday show, I could take off one day. But it was like all intertwined.
Wow, so this wasn't even like, like riding with Biggie and all of them. Like this was just you and Kim?
Kim and Little C's, Junior Mafia. And Biggie, like, so I would always be in Biggie's house because they all lived in Biggie's house.
Yeah.
But he would be on the road recording, or like I met him twice in the past. I was Little Kim's DJ, not Biggie.
Okay.
And this is sad, but I was there. Oh, you know what's funny? That's so weird. Another time in Virginia is right when we landed in Virginia, this is now Kim is popping. Now we getting like flying instead of driving and doing, big shows. And we go to Virginia. As soon as we land, Biggie calls Little C's. He's like, yo, come to LA. And he's like, yo, I'm with Kim right now. He's like, yo, F Kim, come to LA. So when Big Papa calls, you got to go.
Right.
So C's never left the airport. He just went and they bought him another ticket. He flew right to LA. And 2 weeks later is when Biggie got killed. So I was there when like C's went to go meet him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was around like all
man, look, now, so the Lil' Kim that a lot of us old schoolers know, like we just put up a picture and see if we can get that picture. This is the new look Lil' Kim, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know her.
Right. So you remember the old school Kim, and I was just trying to be respectful, so I didn't want to pull anything that was a decent new version of Lil' Kim versus all the other pictures. But like, what were your thoughts when you saw that she morphed into what she is now? Because I mean, like, she was cute, like, pretty little innocent looking thing, and then all of a sudden she like, do you see that a lot in Hollywood where celebrities just feel like they got to change their bodies and stuff?
Yeah, I actually hold on, I don't know if you can see this. Come on, son.
Put it on big screen. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Look at your boy.
Go ahead, man. And you still got the pictures. Come on, man.
I still got those pants. Yeah, I you know what, man? Like, I got a big heart, man, and I feel sad when I see things like when you see celebrities do it, it's hard to relate to it. But when it happens to someone you know and you close with, like Kim, like she liked me because I wasn't in the Junior Mafia family per se. I was like an outsider, but we was always very cool. And like, I cared about the show. So I would always ask her, hey, can we improve this with the show or that? Some dudes just wanted to get on stage, do whatever, and then get girls after the show. Right. So she liked that I was like into the music part. And Little Kim, me and her by ourselves, she was like regular Kimberly Jones. And I could see that she had like some pain that she was going through. I mean, we all do, but I could see that she had some pain and she was dealing with a lot. And then when Biggie died, she had to carry everybody on her back. So
because she was the A-list artist, right?
Yeah. So it was hard. It was hard, and I watched her like do all these changes, and I was just like, I wish I could help. But by then, I was kind of out of it.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I can attest to, like, I know I suffer from a little bit of mental illness. It's not on a huge level, but a lot of entertainers, a lot of people that are out there, like all the fans see is a person that everybody wants to see, right? But even you talked about suffering from like anxiety and things of that nature. So, when people just see us, they think, oh, everything is right. They're making money, they're popular, but you don't really know what's going on the inside, man. So with Kim, I mean, wow, like that's just something that you wouldn't know, but if you knew her, then obviously you saw some signs, right?
Yeah, but back then there's two Ciphs. There's pre-therapy Cipha and post-therapy Cipha. And that was pre-therapy Cipha. So I didn't know how to help someone else. I couldn't even help myself, Yeah.
I
don't like that you do your research so well. I don't like this show. I'm upset.
Look, man. If I just had you up here and said, hey, Cipha, tell everybody about yourself, you would be pissed. You'd be like, why am I telling people about me? As a DJ, formerly of one of New York's hottest radio stations, because I know that you got a deep history with how that went down. We're not even going to go into that, but you actually have the power when you're a DJ of a big radio station like Hot 97 to break in artists. A lot of people who don't know you have no idea we would not know Rihanna had it not been for you. Correct. Like how did that go down, man? Because that's hard to fathom. She's a major superstar, but because you played her record.
Okay, all right, hold on. First of all,
it's not hard to fathom that you thought. I'm saying that just because her record got played.
No, this is what I always say. I say I don't know what would have happened if I wasn't involved. You know what I'm saying? She's very talented. She probably would have been a superstar no matter what. I'm just saying that I know for a fact I was the first one to ever play anything from her ever. You know what I'm saying? I met her. She was managed by a friend of mine. I met her and they wanted to try to get her a deal. And I was like, why don't I start playing the record and get some buzz? You know what I'm saying? And that me playing the record led to labels, bidding wars, big major record deals. I'm in the video.
But what was it about her though that you said, yo, this artist is dope?
Bro,
I gotta.
It's not that complicated. The music, you know what I'm saying? The music is what. Hey, look at that. I used to wear my clothes used to be baggy. It's the music, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, she's an amazing person. We know that, but she was 17 in that picture. You know what I'm saying? And like, I never have any like intentions. If the music is good, I want to play it and I want to help. You know what I'm saying? What can I do to help young artists? I have this little real estate on the radio at the time where my show seems to get a good amount of following and people, and I want to help. And if the song is good, like, 'cause I'm known like in New York to play like a lot of Caribbean music, so they were like, oh, let's go to Cipha because he plays that kind of music, and it was dope. And like not just that song, but all the stuff that they played me. So I was like, oh, I want to be involved. Thank you for asking me to be involved. I would love to be involved. And I played it and over, and it got traction. And then she got her deal.
Wow. Now on the flip side of all this discovery, you also admit that you passed up on Drake. Now, how did you pass up, or how did that go about?
Oh, I'm losing Wi-Fi connection.
No, speak, brother.
Nah, Drake is my boy. I tell I do a stand-up joke about how I could have signed Drake and I didn't, but really the real story is when I met Drake, I was transitioning out of DJing and more into comedy. So I had to tell him I wasn't looking for artists right now. And he was like, oh, okay, word, okay. But like
that's the short of it. Like, okay, word.
Demo. He gave me his demo. I was like, yo, I met the thing I like about Drake is all the people that were with him back then still with him today.
Nice.
Oliver, 40, those Oliver's the guy he worked in a clothing store that I used to shop at in Toronto. And he's like, yo, my boy got this mixtape, and I looked at the cover and I was like, eh. And then I listened to it and it was good, but it wasn't the Drake we know now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was good though, but it wasn't great. And I was like, and I met him and I said, yo, you got good stuff, but like I'm not the one because I'm kind of like not looking for artists right now. I'm kind of trying to transition into this comedy world. And he was like, okay.
Hold up. But did you know that he was already a child star or had already done some TV?
No, I wouldn't have words if I already knew he was popping. An idiot.
Yeah, because that's why I'm like, yo, you passed up and you
I didn't know he was wheelchair Jimmy at the time. No, but like, listen, I said I'm personally not looking for artists right now, but I still like, the famous freestyle where he's at Hot 97 and he's reading his BlackBerry and everybody made fun of him. I'm the one who brought him to Hot 97 that day. You know what I'm saying? Like I still, like I DJ'd the first OVO Fest in Toronto.
Okay.
Like I was still very well connected to him. Like my people's, the same guy that introduced me to Rihanna actually runs OVO now. So it's like, it's all family. I'm just a distant, retarded cousin.
Hold up. It's so sensitive these days. You can't say the word retarded.
Well, if I'm retarded, I don't know. I'm not allowed to say that.
People, look, we about to get shut down. Hey, look, my wife got a question. She says, as a DJ, did you find it hard to play music on the radio you thought was trash, but the people loved it? That's a good question.
I mean, okay, that's not as a DJ, especially on the radio. That's as a music fan.
Yeah.
Fan, I'll be like, why do they like this song? But I had a job that I got a paycheck for, and
Yeah.
like if the people wanted it, they had to, but then there was, I had like segments where I could do my own thing, and like it was a give and take. But yeah, it's sometimes you're like, why, like Laffy Taffy, why am I playing this? But they love it. They love it.
Cipha, grown men now would be up in the corner with a black and mild Laffy Taffy come on.
That Laffy Taffy thing right here.
Yeah, they lose it, man.
You talk about a guy who's like a Wu-Tang, Nas, Biggie fan, and I gotta play this corny music. But you know what? In a party, when people are going crazy, it was fine. Like it added to the night. Radio was a little harder because it was just me. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Right. In a party, it works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely imagine that. Now, here's another part to your radio life, because you got some brothers and sisters in the industry: Charlemagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ Envy, and Charlemagne is known. The Breakfast Club. Charlemagne is known for giving out Donkey of the Day, homie. Yeah. You got Donkey of the Day from Charlemagne, but he also gave you Donkey of the Year award as well. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know. I thought I heard, but it was based off of your Donkey of the Day. So what was your Donkey of the Day for? Because a lot of people here in the Hampton Roads area do listen to the Breakfast Club.
Donkey of the Day was not a good moment in my life. There was a remark made on the it was a joke made on the radio. And it was a joke about Haitians, and a joke got when I tell you they blew it, they changed what I said and they blew it out of proportion, and I almost got fired because of it. And this is when Charlemagne was first on the air, like they were trying to cut our throats, so I just gave him ammunition and he took it. But that was like the early Donkey of the Days. But I didn't people think I gotta hate him because of that, and I was like, no, he's doing his job. That's what his job is to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I never took offense to it. It's not personal.
Right. Because when Charlemagne gives somebody Donkey of the Day, is that popular? Then people go search and look for the person, right. And then of course they go on Twitter. But I can't believe somebody did it, and it's very few and far in between when people will rock with what that person did. I don't really see a problem. So did you get a lot of people that kind of turned on you?
Not really. A little bit, but not like. Haitian people were mad at me, of course, but I had a lot of Haitian friends, and they were like, why'd you do that? And then they were like, and some of them were like, that's not even, you didn't even say nothing that bad.
Right.
The thing that I lucked out about is that my name is pretty golden. There's not a lot of strikes against me. Even when there was like a Haitian coalition formed to get, there was a Haitian coalition formed to figure out what my punishment would be. They were literally, everybody was in there was like, yo, you're a good dude, we like you, but you said something that hurt our community's feelings, and like we got to figure out something to do. And I was like, I'll take my lashes, whatever it is. And like there's a woman from that organization, she worked in the mayor's office, that to this day she still comes and checks out my comedy shows. Like I handled it like a gentleman, because that's what I am. And like I apologized right away. So like the news story wasn't that big of a deal. Like I handled it like a human, as opposed to like what do you call those firms? Like from the show Scandal, that like a crisis management firm. Like, all came in, like Hot 97 crisis management team came in. Like, you got to do this.
Let's try to paint a better picture for him.
Yeah. And I was just like, can I just say sorry and handle it like a human? And it was fine.
Yeah, like those are times, especially in the comedy world. Like I know I've been in the business since 1999, but I would probably say the last 10 years, comedy has been more sensitive than ever. Like the judgmental people in comedy have been just extra. Like they just go so far. So you also said something on the Breakfast Club that I agree with. You said comedy is built on bad experiences. What's one of them that you can recall that actually you've gained some experience from?
Oh, I mean, listen, man, like my whole life. Like my dad died when I was 3. My
Mhm.
mom had me when she was 16. Like we bounced around from different apartments when I was younger. I had to move to Long Island in high school, so I was like the only ethnic person in an all-white high school. But all of that stuff just fuels comedy, yo. Like you take your bad things and you make people hear how you can talk about something bad that happened to you, and they're like, oh, that's something similar happened to me.
Right,
And
right. Yeah,
yeah,
and
I had no hope when I was a kid. No hope. Like not like I was just like I'm gonna be in the streets. Like I was kind of nerdy though, so I was like I'm gonna be like a nerdy thug. Like like in today's standards, I would be the thug that uploads the World Star videos. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like you see a gang of dudes and they all got their guns out, but somebody has to go, hey, we can get more likes on this if you know somebody's
that is,
uploading the video.
yo, that is hilarious because I could just see, hey, look, my man over here, JG, my man JG uploads everything. So we go out and do the dirt. Then we come back, give it to him. He's up there like it reminds me of you remember the movie Bad Boys where John Sally was from prison, but so Martin them had him in his handcuffs tight and stuff. But that is that
I'm like, yo, why did you not record this in Square? Because now it's not gonna fit in the Instagram page.
you would be a modern skinny jean wearing thug. That's what you would be.
I used to do the book reports of the OGs, like not the OGs, but like the dudes above me. Like I was in like 8th, 9th grade, and the dudes that were like high school seniors that were like about to be the runners of the block. I would do their book reports for them. And one dude, like they protected me because I was that kid.
Yeah.
And one dude, he came up to me, grabbed me, and he like slapped the back of my head and like pushed me against the wall. And I was like, yo, what's up? Like, and he's like, yo, I got an A. He's like, there's no way they think I'm gonna get an A. Like, why'd you write it so good? Like B's and C's, bro. B's and C's.
You know what? That's nothing worse than a conscious thug, too. You're like, oh man, I ain't supposed to get no A. I wanted good grades, but not an A.
Yeah, they know it's not real.
Right, man. Look, for those of you who's just now tuning in, we talking to the celebrity DJ, comedian, comedy brother in the industry, Cipha Sounds, the legendary Cipha Sounds. That's who you are.
I don't like the term celebrity DJ.
But hey, man, look,
like Paris Hilton and I mean, like,
man, look, you a celebrity, man. Look, yo list of credits.
To be a celebrity.
Look, your list of credits. Now, I agree with you on that, so I can change that. Okay, so I won't call you because I don't want you to start crying and get upset or nothing.
Hey, don't take the word out. Just rearrange.
He said, no. Give me my flowers, but just switch the flowers around.
Look, this room look like I'm on the run. I'm in a hotel room, and it just looks like I'm in like I killed somebody, and I'm just hiding out. I'm sorry. This is a horrible. Look at this.
Hold up. Is this your grandmother's? Or, I mean, is this your mother-in-law's home?
I'm in a hotel room out of town, and I'm in the corner because the lighting was the best here. But it looks like I'm at La Quinta Inn, and I just murdered somebody, and like I'm just hiding out until they give me a fake passport.
Hold up, time out. Is the AC unit on the floor by the window?
No, it's a nice room. It's not a horrible room. It's just I'm in a shady area.
No, that's when you know it's a horrible room, when the AC unit is right up under the window. And as soon as you touch that thing, the curtains start blowing up underneath, and don't nobody get cool at all.
In a trap house, Quincy.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm doing all right.
Bro, so the thing about you is comedy has always been a part of your radio shows, right? But you admit to struggling as a new comic, even though it was seamless going from being a DJ to a professional comic. But you did say like you struggle. Every comic should have a story that they struggle.
I had a different type of struggle because well, everybody used to say I was funny on the radio, so I started to take comedy seriously by producing shows.
Mm-hmm.
Not even trying to be a comedian. I would just produce a show, and then I started hosting them. And then you know how it is when you get those laughs, it gets addictive. And I wanted to be more into the comedy world. And so the problem was my show was always packed. And then my show was packed with like bad chicks, like dudes that bought bottles. Like, so it was like they would come to my show before they went to the club. All the rappers would come, all the ball players would come, and all my fans from the radio would come. And I thought I was killing it, right? So then once comedians saw that I was starting to take it seriously, like Talent and all those dudes, like Capone and Brooklyn Mike and, you know, the New York scene, they say, yo, it looks like you like starting to take this seriously, because I would talk to Talent. He was on the radio station across the hall from me. He was on Kiss FM. So every morning I would go, yo, I did a show last night. He was like, yo, those shows don't really count because those are your fans. You already have fans. You got to go where they don't like really know you or that you do comedy. So I was like, yeah, I'll go wherever. I don't care. So I started going to some like rooms, what we call rooms, like, you know, the black rooms.
Yeah.
And, woo, they let me know.
Yes.
Like, nah. After you hit the road, buddy.
Hold up. You said something, I think in your description, at one point you were telling a joke and you could hear the paper that the fries sit in.
No, that's not even the worst. Let me tell you something. I did a show once, and first, because here's the problem. They know me, so when I come on stage, they get excited to see me. But that lasts 48 seconds. After that, if you're not funny, it's even worse, because now they're disappointed because they're like, oh, we just showed him this love, and he's not. I went to this Puerto Rican bar in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I'm Puerto Rican, but I don't speak Spanish. But on my radio show, it was a black, a Puerto Rican, and a Jew. So I would get all this Puerto Rican love, right? So they're like, yo, you want to do this show in this Puerto Rican bar? I said, yeah, of course. So they're like, are you going to go last? You headlining because you're the big name. The dude before me went up and did a whole set in Spanish and ripped. Like, people were bouncing off the wall. And I was like, I don't even speak Spanish. And I went up there. So it was a bar, right?
Yeah.
So there was the stage, and then there was like a curtain, but behind the curtain was like a window that was on the front of the street. Yeah. So it was there was an emergency exit there behind the curtain, the kind that if you hit it, the alarm goes off. Yo, I stood up there and was bombing so bad. I just walked out of the emergency exit, and the alarm starts going off, and I just walked to my car and drove away. I didn't get paid. It was horrible.
Man, look, those are the type of stories that comics should be able to share amongst each other, and another comic be like, yo, I got a similar one, or I got something like this. That's when you know, like, these comics would be out here saying, man, I ain't got no stories of being booed. I ain't got no stories of bombing. You have to bomb if you are a comic.
Yeah, I didn't go on stage for 3 months after that.
Period. 3 months?
3 months.
Wow.
I was producing a monthly show and didn't host my own show for 3 months.
Ooh, man. Now, hold up. It was
bad.
Let me try to read what Donna is saying. Donna is a fan of yours as well. She said, are you still doing improv? I would like to thank Cipha and X Mayo for giving me the opportunity to speak at the POC Improv. Yeah, I think that's the one where you came here last year and you reached out to me and I sent you some comics.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I think Donna was one of those comics. Hey, yeah. Thank you, Donna, for tuning in and for checking in.
Coming to the show.
Absolutely. Now look, I'm gonna take a quick little sponsor break. But before I go on the break, I like to do this segment. It's a pretty cool, pretty fun segment called "Going Completely Off Topic." Okay,
it's so organized, Quincy. I don't like this.
Look, man. Look, I can't help it, but that's what this segment is. The segment, hold up, I think I got it here. There it is. Going completely off topic. All right. So this is a really cool thing. You have no idea what these questions are. Have nothing to do with this basic. I mean, with this interview. So just
questions are.
yeah, just answer them as you would try to answer. Okay. So the first one, bro. If your livelihood depended on this, Cipha,
Yeah.
based on these two choices,
Okay.
which would you take more pride in doing? Being president of the United States or being a stripper?
Ooh, more
If your
pride.
livelihood depended on it.
Okay. More pride. I would say president of the United States.
Really? Not a stripper?
Here's the deal with me. I just said this today. I just told somebody I don't have a sexy non-sex body. My body is only sexy during sex. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be in the mindset. Like, if we're getting down and dirty, it's all right. You know what I mean? But the lights are off.
Right.
Maybe flickering in the background. Then I'm sexy, but non-sex sexy. No,
Right.
It's not. It would be
right. Not going down.
It would not have me in that. It wouldn't last long, that career.
Gotcha. So you would take more pride in being POTUS
Yeah,
than you would.
I don't love what's happening in this country, but I don't want to live anywhere else.
Hey, I hear you, man. Okay. All right. So that's a good one. So let's increase this a little bit. Now, out of all of your industry friends that you have connections to, okay, even include Dave Chappelle in that, all right? And all of your industry friends, which one would you love to slap some sense into?
Ooh, good question. What I want to slap sense into?
I mean, and I'm not talking about like violently because I just try, I'm an Ike Turner. I'm talking about get your stuff. What are you doing?
Who does that stuff together? Oh man, that's a good one. There's people like, this is gonna sound really bad, but someone like Most Def. See, Most Def is a good friend of mine. But he leaves a lot of money on the table because he's pure art. The man speaks like a philosopher. And when I was on tour with him right before the pandemic, we were in London with Dave Chappelle, and we not London, all over Europe, and Most came with us and performed. And he's pure art, and I'm telling him, make more albums. Make more movies, do more shows. And he's like, I'm not feeling it right now. Like, what are you talking about? You're not feeling bags of money that you could be getting because you are one of the best to ever do. And he's like, my spirit is not. Shut up. Do the damn show and get this money, yo.
Okay.
I'm living in Ethiopia for 6 months because I want to feel the rivers of the. Shut up. Get on stage and do some shows, Most Def.
I got you. Now, that one I did not expect. That's a good one.
What did you think?
That's a good one. Yeah, this person said he would slap Kanye. Yeah, but I think a lot of people would slap Kanye amongst a few other people.
Can't slap Kanye because Kanye is going through some actual, literal mental illness.
Absolutely.
That would be a shame to slap Kanye.
Right, but you can get away with it. Just run, okay?
It would be acceptable into the public, and that's not nice.
No. So here's the third one before we go to a short intermission break. Being from the Bronx, what would be easier to deal with? All right, waking up and seeing a subway-sized rat, or an actual person who has broken into your home.
Wait, say that again.
Okay, being from the Bronx, what would be easier to deal with?
Yeah.
Waking up and seeing a subway-sized rat in your home that has broken into your home, or an actual person?
Oh, person?
Yeah.
All day.
That would be easier.
All day. I look at a man in his eyes and I would pop him clearly with numerous firearms I have laying around. But a rat, no, I wouldn't. Yeah. I'm kidding. But I would, I don't like animals. A disgusting huge rat in your house, I would just move.
Right.
What the
So
fire escape? And the rat will be like, "Oh, this is my house now."
well, as big as y'all's rats are, I mean, anybody from New York can attest that. Look, I was down there. I went to Harlem. I did Smokey's Room
Up there,
about a year or so ago.
down south, it's up there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
Down there, but it's up there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Well, that's where I went.
Directions. I'm big on
Right.
directions.
Clearly. Well, I went there to Harlem, and man, I had never seen a rat this big. I've seen cats and dogs, and I've been to Baltimore. I've seen and I kid you not, bro. A rat was scaling the wall. People thought I was joking, and I took a quick picture, and they said, "Yeah, that rat is scaling the wall." But they said, "There ain't no rat scaling the wall." I said, "That rat was scaling the." But New York, y'all got some. Like I can't describe. Like y'all's rats have dental plans. Like you can see all
Instagram accounts.
Like these things ain't no joke.
They don't even run from you if you get close. They're like,
Okay.
"This is my block. This is my block."
Right. Okay. So it would be easier to deal with a person breaking in your house than to deal with a rat.
Tackle a person. I've seen enough Born Identity movies or like Roddy Kid. Like I can handle a person.
Right.
What do you do?
Hey, it's kind of like that smart thug that you would talk about. I find it very interesting that thugs can shoot a human being like real, or just people can kill another human being quick. I die for all these people. Like this is what I do. But let a mosquito or a fly come around. A roach, get it off of me! Like you can take care of a person who's 10 times bigger than a roach.
Or have you ever seen a thug that like for some reason, like let's say the thug is now the on tour with like a famous rapper from their neighborhood, and they go down and do a show in Brazil, and there's like a llama, and they're like, llama.
And the llama's gonna give you that look like.
Yo, I know you have killed people in your life. And like, no, but that's a llama. I'm not messing with no.
That is a llama. Look, that's a good place to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a little bit more from Cipha Sounds, people. Y'all stay right here. Real quick, people, first of all, thanks for tuning in. There's going to be a quarantine cash question that's going to come up. I hope y'all been tuning in the entire time. So there's going to be a quarantine cash question that's going to be coming up soon. And thank everybody for the questions. If you got more questions for Cipha, he is a DJ, comedian. He's connected all over. He's a TV show host. So if you got a question, if you got an industry question and you're an industry person, ask him on this show. That's why I bring these personalities on the show so you guys can see them in person and ask them and talk, because this is where it gets interesting. All right. So real quick, just want to shout out my sponsors. My first sponsor is my barbershop Cuts and Styles by Quincy Carr. My other two sponsors, I have a Angel's Place Daycare. This is if you are in the Hampton Roads area. If you mentioned that you heard them, all you got to do is look for them on social media, on Facebook, Angel's Place Daycare Center. All right. The owner name is Angel. Let her know that you heard about her via my show, via Quincy Carr, via Quality Comedy, anything, and you will get $50 off the first 4 months of your child going to daycare. $50 off. So don't forget about that. All right. So again, that's Angel's Place Daycare. My other sponsor, this is my other sponsor that sponsors my show. I can play this quick commercial for them.
Just Dance On, Ballroom and Latin Dance Studio in Virginia Beach is perfect, whether you want to learn to dance socially or if you're interested in competitive dancing. Just Dance On has something for everyone, offering both private lessons and group classes.
Everybody is so nice. You couldn't be happier if you wanted to do ballroom and Latin dance if you come here.
At Just Dance On, we excel in turning the non-dancer into the best dancer they can be. Remember, no matter where you are in life, just dance on.
Absolutely. Got all types of sponsors here. And if you were interested in being a sponsor, it's very simple. As you can see, I will play a promo clip that you have. The packages are inexpensive. Just hit me up and just leave a message in the comments and I'll respond back to you after this live ends. And also just want to plug myself as well. Just want y'all to know I got a comedy special, Too Young for 40, that is out right now. It's streaming on TGX Live. It's been out since July the 24th, but it's like I said, it's streaming on TGX Live, and you guys can do the pay-per-view orders. It's only $4.99. It's just short of $5. So I appreciate your support. It is Black Business Month, so I certainly appreciate that if you guys would support that. And also, I have my t-shirts, my Perfect Human brand of t-shirts. I strive to be perfect, but end up being human. I got red and black shirts available. They're unisex is the color is the word I'm trying to use, but I got wristbands as well, just trying to help spread a positive message. Stop judging each other, stop pointing fingers, holding grudges. And then of course for my performance on TruTV's Laff tracks that Cipha Sounds was the host of, I got this phrase from my funny bit, bed and breakfast. Come on, let's do something. So that's where that's from. So if you guys are interested in supporting, I certainly appreciate it. Trying to do everything I can to keep food on the table as well. I'm not struggling. I don't want, this ain't no sympathy thing, but it is my birthday this month, next week. So if you just want to support a brother, that's a birthday gift for me. I appreciate it. So if you're interested in any of that, just put it in the comments and I will get right back with you. All right. So let's get back with more with Cipha Sounds. I hope he's back there. I know he's stepped. There you go. All right. So let's get back with Cipha. Hey,
I don't like leaving my camera open for people to just be watching me. So,
man, you were backstage. Nobody was going to see you except for me, man.
It is watching us.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody is. Let me jump right back into it real quick. So let me find it. I know I had it right here. Yep, I put my paper down. So when you got the call to host the new TV show Laff Mobb's Laff Tracks on TruTV, did you have any input in that? Because and before you answer that question, I know a lot of people, like I've looked at the comments. I had 2 videos that went viral from my 2 performances. Yeah. But my comments that I had on my video, and I uploaded those myself, right? So I don't have any negative comments, but when I go to other sites, I see negative comments about the show. Yeah. So did you have any input in that show, or it was like, hey, look?
Not too much, because I got a lot of shows that I pitch and try to get out there, but that one I was just hired to host a show. So they let me suggest a lot of comedians. Oh, look at you. They let me suggest a lot of comedians, and I could write my own intros and stuff. But as far as like the show is concerned, there was a lot of people involved in that show. So yeah, there was a lot of cooks in that kitchen. They didn't need one more.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a season 3? Because I know they just did a season 2 earlier this year, I think, but they filmed it around this time last year.
Well, the reason why I'm living at my in-laws' house is because they are not doing another season of the show, and that paycheck is long gone. Because I blew through my first 2 seasons. Woo, I got a nice car in my in-laws' driveway. Okay, I got a nice vehicle parked up. They told me literally right before the pandemic. They gave me a call. I love everyone at TruTV, and they said they would bring it back because, really, to be honest with you, the show was. There's 2 reasons. Okay. TruTV Turner Network merged with AT&T or whatever it was. Someone bought them out, the whole network. So the whole company. So there was a lot of changes in personnel, and TNT, TBS, they kind of merged with TruTV. So there was a lot of changes. And then they said the show was really expensive to make. So
wow. Well, yeah, I know that because they would shoot it. I think the last 2 seasons, or I was actually on season 1, but I was on the second half of season 1. But that's when they shot it at the Promontory in Chicago. But the first one they did in LA.
Yeah, so, our part actually was not that expensive. We were all in one location in Chicago. You know, all the comedians were there. It was a great time. We were there for a week. We would all hang out, man. We had a good I met so many good friends on that show. At least Sadiq and Black Ron, and so many great comics. And then but when they would shoot all the recreations in LA, and that got expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine. And the one thing that I could say, a lot of the comics that performed on there, dope comics, right? but sometimes the acting kind of drew down how dope the comics performance was. So to people watching it, they'd be like, "Oh, that person ain't really that funny." So when I saw mine, like I was like, "Man, I hope," because I wanted to act out in my own joint. And they actually did mine some good justice, like on both of them. And I was like, whoo, because I've seen some comics. And I think based on how you tell your story on stage, like if the actors don't have anything to go on, then they just create on their own. And that sometimes doesn't get the right direction. So
they're not, it's like you wrote it, but you didn't get to star in it, and they changed it to their way. Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened like that. And also that like there was how many jokes a episode? Maybe 7 comedians or 6 comedians,
like 5 to 6, yeah.
And so then like now they have to go and shoot 5 little movies. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like draining, because if they ran over, they would have, all right, just get it done because we gotta put this out. So sometimes they wouldn't give it the full. And then also some jokes was so funny, but visually it would take too much to shoot that. You know, so instead of not using that joke, they would try to do it like a low budget way, and it just sometimes didn't pop off. But I got like a lot of love from that show.
It was a lot of good opportunity. I mean, just the fact of how I got on there, like I mentioned at the top of the show, that was my very first, after 18 years in the business, that was my very first official national TV performance credit.
Well, and I'm here to help the youth.
Well, I remember talking to you for the first time, and and I'm thinking, yo, that's Cipha Sounds, like, dang. But you were so down to earth, like you are right now. And so, like, I think I still got a picture. I couldn't find it, but I got a picture, and I was like, yo, like him, so many, Carrie caught it. Man, just so many comics that I had an opportunity to just vibe with, and all of y'all have just been dope. So that was really good for me. And then what I got from there, my stuff gets played on the LOL network, so I get a little royalty thing from that, and people be driving and they'll screenshot it. So I was blessed to be a part of those 2 seasons.
You got more than me. This is crazy.
Bro, your stuff is being.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I made some good friends from that show. A lot of great vibes. I made some good money. I'm not really on the show, son. They cut every part they could cut out of my. I used to write long, elaborate intro. This is my man. He's from Virginia. He got this. He got that, and they would just cut to me saying Quincy Carr.
Right. And it was like, yo, like I took the time to write this up, man. Marshall Brandon, Mike Yard.
Yeah.
Those
were
the writers.
You wrote some fire.
Yeah.
Man,
they slice and dice. Wow. Well, it's like I said, man, I truly appreciate you doing that. Or just being a part of that show and just the connection. Now, you created your own live monthly show some years ago, and you now have a hip hop show it tells stories in front of live audiences. Like talk about this concept, because I think it's dope, because you were touring it, right?
Yeah. So this is UCB Improv Take It Personal hip hop show. Improv is like a very come on, don't show the fat pictures of me. Damn it. I was skinny at one of these. They UCB Improv is this amazing art form where like you literally make up the whole show on the spot. And I went to go see a show in New York, and I mean 0 people of color, yo. Like 2 black girls and a black guy. You know what I'm saying? And like I love this so much. I went, like, I'm talking about, I'm at the height of my career on Hot 97. I'm doing the morning show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm doing the mornings. I got the #1 morning show. And then afternoons, I would go and take classes at an improv school with like a bunch of 19 and 20-year-old white kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, who's the old guy in the back? Like, yeah, hey, give me a suggestion. But I loved it, yo. And I took it, and I was like, okay, they used to ask me to be a guest on this show called ASCAT.
Okay.
and that was like their premiere show on Sunday. That's the one where Amy Poehler and SNL stars and all these different stars would be on the show.
Yeah.
And I would tell a story, and then they would take my story and make a show out of it.
Okay.
But they used to love my little hip hop stories. And I'd be like, oh, I mean, I used to work with Jay-Z and we went here and Beyonce did this. And they're like, oh my God, these stories are so incredible. So what I did was I was like, hey, maybe I can, instead of me telling the story, I can get the rappers to tell the stories themselves. And from there, I got my own shows, like a hip hop version of like that show, ASCAT. And every Friday night I would bring, I had Wu-Tang, I had Nori, Ja Rule, countless stars. I can't even remember Mobb Deep.
I saw a clip where Jim Jones was telling the story about Puffy.
I remember that one. I know Jim Jones did it a couple times where he said something foul in Chicago and Farrakhan had the FOI surround him. And he was like, oh, this ain't blood life. This is some other life.
Right.
I had Action. You showed the clip with Action Bronson.
Yeah.
I had, and then I would also have like actors like, Romany Malco, the black guy in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. He was in Weeds. He did my show. Malik Yoba did Hannibal Buress, Zoe Kravitz. Like, it was amazing. I had 5 years of just dopest celebrities coming through.
Yeah, that's a great platform. And that's really what the industry is taking your art, being able to do something else, but also marry that into, or kind of not marry, but merge it into something almost like a lateral move. And you were able to take your funny on your radio show and put it as a live show, but use your DJ and music and marry that in comedy. That's dope, man.
Yeah, and also like I say I gentrified UCB because it's like, I mean, no, nothing against them. It's just improv is a very white art form. It's just like it's a lot of white college kids that go on, and then a lot of these kids become like Will Ferrell and anyone on SNL probably took improv classes. John Mulaney, it goes on. And I was like, I know dudes that are on the corner that are funny as hell, but they don't know, they're not stand-ups. They can't write material. They're just so funny. And I was like, you should do improv. You know what I'm saying? So I started like my own improv class, and I had these kids like funny, doing funny stuff. And it was just like, I know a bunch, like, I know drug dealers that stand on the corner all day and just make each other laugh, but they don't know there's an outlet for what they do. Like, you don't realize that's a talent. You're not a basketball star or a movie star, but what you're doing can be used for a career.
Absolutely. Like, how much did it hurt or help your 2.5, 3 years on the Chappelle show at Chappelle's DJ? For those of you who don't know, this guy was the one that said, Dave Chappelle, right before he came out. But like, how did those years just being in that environment? Because Dave is brilliant, man. Just hands down. He's our generation's Richard Pryor.
Yeah, man. I think not because he's my friend, because he's a very good friend of mine, but he is my favorite comedian of all time. And the dude is a great person, a fantastic human being. But like, bro, he's not even a comedian where like he has to like write and like do like his is like just pure life on stage. And he just, we'll have a conversation, and a couple hours later he'll be on stage, and that conversation will be in joke form on stage that night. Yeah, where like, I get an idea and I have to go home and write it and try it. It's unbelievable, yo. But yeah, he told me I was funny back in those days, because we used to like warm up the crowd and do funny things, and he said I should do stand up.
Nice.
Then.
Yeah, like Dave, like I got a chance to meet him once. I told the story once before, but just that encounter, that basically told me everything about the person that I already admired. My admiration for him began when I saw he walked away from the 50 million, and then he did that tour, and he had a joke about the Iceberg Slim joke that basically told people what the whole concept and idea was, walking away from that and what it actually meant. And that's one thing that I know from my Black community, that I'm always like, like people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, it's not always about money. It's about the opportunity to make a positive impact. We get so caught up in making some money that we forget. So maybe that's kind of what most Def's situation is too. I mean, I don't know him like that, but it's not always about money.
100%. I'm joking around. Most Def also one of the greatest. I am not that funny, nor am I that talented, and I would have taken all of the money. You understand that? I would have.
Yeah.
You want me to be your Comedy Central slave? Where do I sign? Right here. Okay. I don't have the dignity of a Dave Chappelle. I'm taking all of it.
Oh man, yeah, it's a tough position to be, but he's the only one that can get away with what he gets away with, but he does it so brilliantly.
And now he made back so much more than I mean, he did it his way.
More.
And like he's inspired me. I left my job at Hot 97 and it was nowhere near that type of money, but that was my career, that was my life, that was my everything. My whole identity was that radio station, but I wasn't happy at the end and I wanted to start over and do stand-up comedy, and I left my job unceremoniously, which I hate because I gave blood, sweat, and tears to that place. And I left. Like, you know what I hate? Okay. Angie Martinez, I don't know if you know her. She's a big radio personality in New York. She left Hot 97 and went to the competition for a big payday, and she got going away party, and they had balloons and flowers, and everyone was crying. And I'm like, this person is going to the competition. And I didn't say it, Quincy. You know that, right? I stopped.
It was the innuendo.
Competition, and they're giving her a party. And when I left, there was one email sent out. Luis Diaz no longer works for MS Broadcasting. Bye-bye.
Right. Deuces. Thank you for all you've done. Bounce. Look, that's the interesting part. Although we're getting close to the end of this show, but I want to play this sound bite because it's interesting that you said that. So it's the sound bite.
Well, first of all, I'll tell you to give you a piece of advice in your life. No matter how much you dedicate yourself to a brand or to a corporation, you're just a number on a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
So one day your number might be up.
Yo, that is so profound of a statement, but it's so true, especially based on what you just said. Like, you have personal experience, but that is so true.
I said that on that show, which was weird because that was the competition of my show. It was weird that I was on that show, but I have no beef with nobody. I wanted to speak my mind there. I learned that the hard way, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully you will listen to my words and not go through that same experience. Mm-hmm. But I took that, for the people out there, I learned that the hard way, that I was just a number on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But you notice the shirt I'm wearing is a Black Star, Most Def and Talib Kweli, because I knew that interview and those quotes would be around forever. And I wanted to rep my people by wearing a 90s hip hop shirt. You know what I mean? Like, so every time you watch that, you see me shouting out my people. And I always am thoughtful about that. Matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay.
That's from VA. That says VA. Can you see that?
Absolutely. Look at this, representing something in the water. Look, like that thing got canceled this year, as well as so many other festivals. I know that you're big on South by Southwest, which is my other hometown, Austin, Texas. That's where I'm from. Just a lot of things changed. But I can appreciate you speaking life into that part of the corporate mindset.
I'm not saying don't get your money. I'm not saying, a lot of these corporate places give us money for whatever it is. But the more you take, the more they feel they own you. And if you don't act right, they could just let you go and then you're done. So just be mindful of that. I'm not saying don't do it, because I take corporate money, all the time. But I know this could go away quickly, and I learned that the hard way.
So are you surprised at what happened with Nick Cannon?
No.
Just based on that statement?
Not at all. Not at all. Um, like as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, oh, I know exactly what he's about to go through. He's gonna feel it, and it don't matter. Like it doesn't matter how many hours and hours of endless entertainment he's provided us. You say something that somebody doesn't like, they can turn your lights off, or
because because they own you. It's essentially because you're just a number on a piece of paper.
Like players can't. They can't wear their own jerseys with their name on it if they do a commercial for something. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wear my name on my shirt. Like, no, we own that. We own that. This amount of time, you took this money, we own that. And it's what can you do? Like, you want to play ball, you want to make a living, you want to make a fantastic living, but you are partially owned.
Right. So, I mean, great lesson for a lot of us out there. Spoken from a person who has gone through. I've gone through, a very lower level version of that. But just the understanding mentally is to know that when you create something, you create it to own it. Now, there is a game that you have to play, and that game is, okay, I don't have the leverage to do what I want to do, so I got to play the little game. But once I have an understanding of my value, you don't have to stay in the game. You can go create your own game. It ain't going to be easy,
right?
But you have to have that mental mindset to understand.
I watched Dave Chappelle make that 846 thing that he made.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, I'm 3-4 steps removed, but just kind of what I was hearing when I was there. I was there that week when he released. I was there the day he released it. I was in Ohio at his farm, and he it's not out through Netflix, but he has a deal through Netflix. So Netflix conversation had to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know what the conversation was. I just saw him saying, I got to talk to Netflix. And in my mind, I was like, damn, like, you want to put out something so powerful for our community that for free on YouTube, on Instagram. And the message that you were saying in that little
27 minutes.
I mean, I cried when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle, who's my hero, who's my mentor, who's my champion, who's my leader. If he was ever to do anything, I would follow him to the end of the earth. Had to kind of double check with somebody.
Hey.
And like, it was all good. It all worked out, but still got to make a call because there's a lot of money on the table that you don't want to mess up for what, And I don't know exactly what had to be said, but I just know that he was like, okay, let's make sure Netflix is, on board.
Absolutely, because there's always a team of people that you have to worry about. Like when you're that big, the Kevin Hart level, and the Nick Cannon level, you got people up under you who's dependent on that.
Kevin Hart's level is ridiculous. Amount of he's the master of Kevin is the best, man. We're like making sure everybody's good.
Yeah.
Putting everyone into play, making sure all the different departments are talking to each other. Like, he's the master.
Right. Absolutely. And there's people like that I know that I watch around myself. Look, we are near the end of this broadcast, but one final question. Like, do you have any projects or anything you got coming up while we put your social media follows up?
My social security number.
Social media follows, bro.
Oh, man, I thought this was the identity theft, Quincy. I'm working on a bunch of things. Oh man, I can't say that one.
See, that's when you know that you got some deals on the table when you actually cannot talk about it. That's big time.
There's one thing I am working on. While I was alone at home during quarantine, I realized that I got my start in this job, in this career, in this whole field, entertainment world, as being Funkmaster Flex's intern. Even before that, this kid DJ Riz, and I made my name being interns. I interned for Jay-Z, I interned for Pharrell, I interned for a bunch of people, to the point where I would make myself so valuable they hired me. But even when I was on the radio, I would go to Pharrell and be like, hey, I work for free. And I took that lesson that I taught myself and started instilling into other young kids, and I've helped a lot of kids become big people in the industry.
Yeah.
but I was always one-on-one. I found a kid, I worked with him or her, they got jobs. I was so happy, I was proud. I'm working on a program now where I'm gonna start structuring that more with a couple of people, high-powered people, and help create this Cipha Sounds mentorship internship program and help kids learn what I learned and then use my connections to get them into different companies or organizations. So look out for that soon. Just follow me at Cipha Sounds and you'll start to see all that stuff starting to pop up real soon.
Man, congratulations on that. That's big time. And before I close you out, got the trivia question. And this is for some quick cash.
They do good for me.
Look, this is for some quick cash. $25. So if you are the first one to answer this question correctly in the comments, all right?
Can I answer?
Who was the DJ that gave Cipha Sounds his break in radio? So all you gotta do is put the DJ's name, first one to put that comment in, and we'll verify it. So we want to answer it right now, but you guys got about 2 minutes to get that question in while we get prepared to close the show out. Look, Cipha, look, thank you so much just for taking the time to be on the show with me. I know that you're not at home right now, so you're traveling, but I truly appreciate what you bring to the entertainment industry, period, because it's not very many people that can morph into multiple things, but you've got the business side, the DJing side, as well as the comedy side. So just thank you for what you do in the industry, my man, and I just appreciate the connection to you, man.
I appreciate that, man. I was just joking around with you earlier. I think your show is fantastic. And just so you know,
I don't have any money for you, so
just so you know, my laptop and my little light here and my little microphone inbox is on top of the ironing board in the hotel room. Okay, that's how literally it's on the ironing board to get it eye level.
Hey, look, that just shows your professionalism.
Yeah.
You want to make sure it was right. You in them curtains behind you with the AC unit on the floor.
I'm in the trap house. Man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No doubt, my man. I appreciate you. And it's like I said, while all these comments are coming in, who is the DJ that gave Cipha his break on radio? All you got to do is put that in the comments and I'll send you the money. Cipha, thanks again, my man. We'll definitely stay in touch. And the next time I'm up there in NYC where you are, I'll try to see if I can get in the cellar.
Don't come for a while.
No.
Lawless in New York City right now. I don't know if you know who Giuliani is, but before Giuliani came to New York City, it was a mess. And guess what? It's back. History repeats itself. Homeless people run the streets. Kids on bikes popping wheelies in traffic. There's no cops in sight. They were like, "Oh, you don't like us? Oh, you don't like us? All right, have fun. Have fun this summer without us."
Right.
People driving up the wrong way in the streets.
Oh my gosh. And it's already crazy with driving there anyway, where y'all didn't even allow Ubers to be around there because the taxi cab companies got so upset. So I definitely get it. But yes, when things are, open back up and cool again, man, it's like I said, like, I don't ever reach out or like, I always feel weird. Like if I know somebody who may know somebody. So I never reach out. I always try to find my own way. However, I don't miss an opportunity to at least ask. So that's what I'm telling you.
Always ask, always reach out. Anybody, if you want to slide in my DMs, I'm available. Anybody out there, reach out. I'm always here to help. And hurry up and end this show because I want to curse so badly, but I can't do it. I want to say bad words.
Hey, man, thank you, my man. I certainly appreciate you, Cipha.
Thank y'all.
All right, cool. So, people, look, thank y'all for tuning in. That was completely awesome. Cipha, good dude in the industry and doing things out here. And as you heard, the last thing he's doing things to kind of reach back for the youth and things of that nature too. So y'all follow him and stay up on that. Let me look at some of these comments. Who said it? So the answer is Funkmaster Flex. Who said it first? Yep, look like Donna. Donna Lewis said it first. So Donna, my comedy sister, that's doing your thing out there on the peninsula. I think I got your Cash App, so I will send you a Cash App. Y'all shout out Donna. Say thank you, Donna, or congratulations, Donna. Don't hate on Donna. She got this $25. So, but y'all tune in again next week. I got a buddy of mine. He's been on Last Comic Standing. We were on the same cruise ship last year performing together. It was me and him were the two headliners. So that's going to be interesting, but he's out in LA. So I got to make sure I get the time zone right and everything, but that's going to be fun. Next week, we'll be right back to do it again. So congratulations again to Donna. So, oh yeah, don't forget about my shirt, and shout out again to my friends over in Norfolk that put this together in a signed form. Yeah. So it's the same thing as my Perfect Human message. They just put it on a wooden form there. I certainly appreciate y'all tuning in. If you got any questions, I will look through all the comments. And if you are interested in my shirt and if you order a shirt tonight, you'll get a free wristband just for ordering the shirt, and the price includes shipping. So I just appreciate y'all supporting me, and I got some new shirts coming in too. So I do have my inventory up. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Certainly appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all next week. I'm out.
Untitled Chapter.